India is often described as the backbone of agriculture, a country where millions depends on farming for their livelihood. But here's the paradox. The very people who feed the nation are among the most economically vulnerable. Today, I want to talk about agrarian distress and the farmers' income crisis in India, a deep rooted issue that goes beyond agriculture and directly impacts economic growth, social stability, and rural development. Agrarian distress refers to the persistent economic difficulties faced by farmers, including low income, rising debt, and livelihood insecurity. To understand the scale of the issue, consider this. Nearly 40 to 45% of Indians' workforce is engaged in agriculture, yet the sector contributes only around 15 to 80% to the country's GDP. This means a large population is dependent on a sector that generates relatively low income, leading to widespread financial stress. For many farmers, agriculture is no longer a profitable activity. Income is unpredictable, costs are rising, and there is very little financial security. This creates a situation where even a small shock, like a failed crop or a fall in prices, can push a household into debt. There are several structural factors contributing to this crisis. Price volatility. Farmers often do not receive a fair and stable price for their produce. Even though policies like minimum support price exist, their reach is limited and many farmers are forced to sell at lower prices. Fragmented land holdings. Over 85% of the farmers in India are small and marginal farmers. With such small sizes, it becomes difficult to achieve economies of scale, invest in technology, or generate sufficient income. Dependence on monsoon rainfall. A large part of Indian agriculture is still rain fed. This means farmers extremely vulnerable to climate variability, such as droughts or unseasonable rainfall. Rising output cost. Input cost. The cost of seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, and fuel has increased significantly over the time, but the selling price of crops has not kept the pace. This squeezes profit margins. Finally, limited access to institutional credit. Many farmers rely on informal sources like money lending, which often charge very high interest, leading to a cycle of debt. The consequences of agrarian distress are not just economic, they are very deeply social. Many farmers fall into debt traps where they are unable to repay loans due to low income. This leads to financial insecurity and mental stress within households. In extreme cases, this has contributed to farmer suicides, which is one of the most tragic outcomes of this crisis. Another major impact is migration. Due to lack of viable income in rural areas, many people move to cities in search of work, but often ending up in informal or low paying jobs. This creates pressure on urban infrastructure while also weakening the rural economies. Overall, the agrarian distress reduces productivity limits, consumption, and slows down the economic growth. Addressing this issue requires a comprehensive and long term approach. First, improving price realization for farmers. This can be done by strengthening procurement systems, expanding markets, direct farmers to consumer platforms. Investment in irrigation and rural infrastructure. Better irrigation systems can reduce dependence on monsoons and increase productivity. Promoting crop diversification, farmers should be encouraged to move towards high value crops such as fruits, vegetables, and dairy instead of relying on stable crops. Increasing access to formal credit. Expanding banking services and financial inclusion can help farmers avoid exploitative money lenders as well. And finally, leveraging technology. Digital tools, mobile platforms, and data driven agriculture can improve efficiency, provide market information, and enhance decision making. Agrarian distress is not just a problem of farmers, it is a national concern. If a large section of the population remains financially insecure, it directly affects the country's growth and stability. India has the potential to transform its agriculture sector, but this requires constant policy efforts, investments, and innovation. Ultimately, empowering farmers is not just about improving income, it is about securing the future of the nation. Thank you.